How many pounds is it?
40.
Hope you're bringing some Motrin.
Oh shit. You get like that.
No, you have to get your paddle. Who's gonna help you out in the wild?
Please. This has to be somewhere I can reach it. 4 times.
We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. We have before us many, many long months of struggle and of suffering. You ask what is our policy? I will say it is to wage war by sea, land, and air, with all our might, with all the strength that God can give us.
This is take one.
To wage war against a monstrous tyranny never surpassed in the dark and lamentable catalogue of human crime.
Do you need
That
help,
is our
honey?
policy.
Yeah.
You ask, what is
Where's
our
your
aim?
Indian guide?
They can
Help carry
answer
your
in one
supplies?
word. Victory. Victory at all costs. Victory in
Here's your
spite
paddle.
of
Look
all
like your
terror.
paddle.
Victory however long and hard the road may be.
Gotta go.
But without
gotta
victory
go.
there is no survival. This time I feel entitled to claim
Any
the
videotape you
aid.
going down? Columbia.
I say, come then, let us go forward together with our united strength.
So I'm walking to my first put-in point, which is one of the largest of the portages, about 1/4 mile. You can see my kayak is on my shoulders. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's me. This is one of the hard parts. Off we go. This is the first canal that takes us to Upper Straits Lake, and that way I can get to another lake, And there's the dock I came from over there. Here is the canal to Upper Straits Lake.
And I just started shaking. Couldn't think of one damn thing to say.
It looks just awful today, probably, but it's one of the nicest days for kayaking I've seen in a long time. The water is just glassy smooth, and there's hardly any wind, so that's going to make it nice on the lakes for this kind of trip. It's about 62 degrees, it's very humid, but it's not miserable at all. I'm halfway across Upper Straits Lake, and I need to head toward where the shed thing is right there, and I'll get out and go up the long hill. So far, so good. Of course, that's just starting. Okay, well, this is where I gotta go. It's right where that sump pump is. And then get out, unpack my stuff, drag this thing up that hill, and then resuit up at the top of the hill, and then go down about 2.5 blocks. Now, funny thing is, of all this trip, the thing I'm most nervous about is going across the property. Because if they come out and say don't do that, then I've got game over. But after that, I won't feel so nervous about anything else. So here we go. Well, very interesting serendipity. I'm at the end of my second portage, so one long one to go and one short one to go. As I approached these people's house up above here, a guy came out with a Kansas City, Missouri police shirt on, and I said, I can't believe you're wearing that shirt. And it turns out their second home is in Kansas City, so we talked for about 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And of course, they were very happy to let me use their place for portage. So I'm headed now up this canal here, which takes me to Pine Lake. This is the water's pretty high. It's not a river. So at the very end of this, we'll get to the lake and I'll show you what it's like. there was a 1 in 3 chance of rain today. I got the 1. It's raining. I don't know how I'm gonna start a fire tonight, except that I swiped some grass from the side of the road that was dry yesterday, and then I microwaved it to kill the bugs. I wonder if I remember toilet paper. I think I did. Alright, so I got a little further ways to go. It's through that bridge out onto Pine Lake. This has always been a challenge. I don't think I'm short enough for this. Oh shit. This is gonna not work. Yeah, the water's up too high. Try this. There's gonna be a lot of that. And the problem is, looks like there's fence around here. Bad news. Alright, well, we'll figure out what's going on. Well, here I am at Orchard Lake. I just finished the 3rd of the big portages, and I'm headed, maybe stop there on Apple Island for a hello, and then I'm headed to the other side to cross the road there. That one's going to be a short one to get to Cass Lake, which is the last big lake before the river starts. I came from over here, which is Pine Lake, and as soon as I got in, this woman in a kayak came up and said, "Oh my God, there's someone else on the lake. I'm gonna follow you." And I'm like, "What, follow me all the way to camping?" She's trying to be a really nice woman though, named Barb, with kids and a husband and 2 other boats, and lives on Pine Lake. And she said she wants to call me up and do a day trip with her son or something like that. So we'll see. I'm making lots of friends here. Oops, looks like I didn't buckle in. So I gotta get out of my jetpack here and into Orchard Lake. I'm going to be looking forward to the end of doing this. Got to drain it out a little bit first. The irony, by the way, is that I have given out 0 business cards relative to work in the 3.5 months I've been with my company, and I've given out 2 today to total strangers while kayaking. Go figure. The water here is crystal clear. I think you can see the bottom. The glare is the biggest thing right now. Just not very far from the shore, but you get the point. It's almost like the Caribbean. So it's starting to rain a little bit now. But this is as glassy as I've seen this lake ever. I could have parked my car over there and skipped this whole part of the adventure, which has been 2.5 hours so far. And that's only about 2 minutes from the house, but I've had to leave my car overnight with a sign that says, "Don't ticket me and steal my car." Plus, this is a low carbon footprint trip. Yep, it's really an island. It's really incredible. Nothing but glass, water, and solitude today. Kind of eerie, gray, spritzing from time to time. Not much to breeze. I'll go show you Apple Island, little beach there, and take a look around. Okay, the ugly truth is that I geocached a couple of Heineken a couple of months ago, and I didn't want to carry them this far. We'll see if they're still hidden underneath that tree. I don't know if I can make the weight in my kayak, but we'll see. I might delete this video. The irony, by the way, is that 0 business cards relative to work in the... Go figure. Okay, well, I'm on Apple Island. Not really allowed to be here since it's private property, but mosquitoes will certainly remind me of that fact. Pretty skanky wet today, but I have a mission, and it's this way, so I'll let you know when I get there. When you're in the wild, you often have to look for sustenance wherever you can find it. Liquids, etc. Sometimes you get lucky. You know, big old snow that. I'm going to avoid it. we're talking about. Well, I just finished my last portage, so I'm starting phase 2 of day 1, which was crossing this road, which literally on the other side of that guardrail is Orchard Lake. So now I got to go across this little lagoon around that island there. And then I'm out into the big Cass Lake, which is pretty busy. You'll be busy on Memorial Day weekend. And then once I get across that, about 1.5 miles, then I get to start up the river. I'm a little bit tired. I've changed into my water shoes and rebalanced my pack. I got it on good and tight. So here we go. This is the uncharacteristically calm and uncrowded Cass Lake today. It's actually a much bigger lake. Usually a lot of boats out here, and it's fun to look for wakes, and a lot of houseboats and power boats, skiers, sailing people, personal watercraft, and then usually one idiot like me out here. The lagoon emptied out right to the right of that house over there by those rocks, and I've got to cross over to where that house is with the tile roof. Right to the right of that is Dodge No. 4 State Park, which is one of the places I put in at sometimes. This is a very calm day, and I'm really glad for the lack of drama. That, I believe, if memory serves me right, is 1.34 miles from where I'm at. So we'll see you at the river. Well, here we are after 4 hours and 10 minutes. That's the end of Cass Lake, or one side of it, and this is the beginning of the Clinton River. Doesn't look like much, but from here it goes on. Oh, there's somebody in the woods. Why am I whispering? Busted. From here it goes on. I'm going to go for an hour, 15 hour and 30 minutes up this way to Cooley and Elizabeth Road, and there's a Subway there, Subway restaurant that I can stop and get more water. This is up, which is a good news, bad thing. Good in that I won't be dragging my butt on the bottom, but bad in that it's going to be pretty dicey at a couple of the bridge crossings getting under them, and because of the water-soaked wood trying to make a fire tonight. As you can see, I'm already drifting about 2 miles an hour here, so this is going to be uphill for the rest of the day. So that ought to be pretty interesting. It gets real pretty back here, though. It gets more wildernessy. Never too far from anyone's backyard, but it looks like you're in the middle of nowhere. Well, the sun has been fighting to come out, and the humidity is dropping, so that's good. You can see it's looking more like a river. The current's pretty swift for this little thing. You can see I'm drifting backwards, so I'm still wondering about how far up I'm going to be able to go without running into some issues, but I'm surprised it's gone this well this far. So I'm going to keep going. You can see that I've donned my hat and Survivor Man, whatever you call it, and just trying to keep up on liquids. Had a Cliff Bar for lunch. It is 3 o'clock, so it's been 4.5 hours. Feeling good. All right. Passed a couple of hippie dudes just a minute or two ago. One owns a house along the creek here, and another coming by and says he kayaks every day. The guy who owned the house said there's a number of deadfalls up ahead, which means fallen trees basically, and said I won't be able to get any further than the airport, which is about as where I wanted to go anyway. He said that this was one place where you can cut through, and you can see that there's current coming through there instead of having to go up and around there, which is probably a good thing, but I've never seen it high enough that you can actually get through there. So again, that means that this is up pretty fast. I'm drifting backwards again, but we'll see. Definitely get more rivery looking as we go through here. And it's one of the places I've scouted out, maybe in those woods, to go back and camp if I have to. I don't know how far it is away from people though, but it's very picturesque. The hippie dude with the house said he'd seen trout in this last week, I guess. It's pretty cool. So my next task is to get over that log. Shouldn't be too hard. Punch through it. Well, not much to see here, but this is Cooley Lake Road in Elizabeth, and this is one of the put-in places, although the construction people kind of made it hard to take out. So that finishes the first segment of the river, and there's about 3 segments that I had planned. Well, I gotta say, my arm's about ready to come out of their sockets because this is current. It's pretty fast, and it was a little over an hour. Anyway, from here on up, it gets a little bit more wildernessy. So we'll see how far we go. It's 3:45, and I don't want to be spending another 5 hours out here. So I just now went into the subway and snuck into the bathroom and replenished my drinking supplies, which really haven't been that much so far. So I'm restocked, refreshed, and ready to head upstream for some more. Here's an overhead shot of my gear. Yep, it's a lot of weight. Just a pretty shot, more like a river than we've seen before. And I'm not that much far away from the subway I just left. Seems like it. The sun has gone back. There's some sort of ominous clouds, but it's actually, couldn't ask for better weather so far. I've never seen the river this high, so again, we'll see how far I go. It's getting to be an old mantra. Last year, up around this bend, I think, there was a tree that had fallen over the river, and I tried like pushing through it, and I broached the kayak, and it's the only time I've tipped it over and flooded it. It was kind of scary, so I stay away from those situations. So if I run into something I can't pass around or forge around, that's it for me this weekend. I'll find a place to camp. Okay, over and out. Well, as the survival people will tell you, grab tinder while you can. You may not get it later. So I found this little tree here with all these grasses around it. So I scabbed them and attached them to my kayak. So now I look like a real American Indian. Push back from here. Try not to capsize so you'll get a better picture. Maybe I can go incognito now. That should make fire starting stuff, even though I've got dried grass. But anyway, it's all part of the adventure. Speaking of fire starting materials, we also want this bad boy. I'll just go ahead and cut them down. Stop. I don't lose the. Hang on. Be right with you. Alright. This is cattail fuzz. It's a little bit wet, but it goes up like gasoline. And even though I've got some of my own, I'd kind of like to do this without having to use all my stuff I brought. So I'm going to put that with my grasses, and we'll see if we can use that tonight for fire starting. This is one of the places that I was thinking I might camp if I can't get up to where I'm going, and it's getting later and I'm getting more tired. This is actually very beautiful in here. I just don't know how many bugs. My feeling is there's probably deer in there, which means there's probably deer ticks in there too. But it's very, very nice. There's some, higher elevations away from whatever elevation, water. It's kind of thick. But it might be a good place in here. The other thing is I don't know how close we are to somebody's house. I don't think very close. This is kind of the remote part. So anyway, if I have to, I'll backtrack here. Since it's 4:30, I got a couple more hours. If I can remember where this is. This is very pretty and serene around here right now. Well, this is the end of the road for me for today. This is the end of the segment 2, which is Airport Road, and there's this little roadside park here, which is kind of a nice checkpoint. Not a whole lot going on here, but you can park and put in here and have a sandwich or whatever. And there's a pedestrian bridge up here, and then you can see the road over there. And I'm beat. It is 5:15, so it's been almost 7 hours, and my arms are coming out of their sockets. So I'm turning around and going to head back to the woods a little bit more and start setting up camp, because it looks kind of like it's going to rain tonight, and I don't want to be caught unprepared. But you know, that was still a good effort, and as far as I've gone ever, so I think I'm pretty pleased. I'm starting to drift backwards, but past here it gets residential, and then it would be another probably 2-3 hours before I got to where I wanted to go, and that has to go through part of Pontiac, and I'm not sure that that's the best idea to do at twilight anyway. So off we go back downstream, and it's going to be pretty fun there for a little while. So see you when I set up camp. By the way, let me get a couple paddles in. This is going to be more like the speed that we can expect tomorrow, which is going to be a lot more fun than inching my way up today. So let's racetrack the way down. Let's see if I can't rig up a head cam and get some of the prettiness. Well, here I am. I've taken out in an area that's an old wood forest, and there's occasionally a mink back here and some coyotes and other kinds of wild creatures. I've seen 2 deer run through here. I know that because I ran into a guy named Fred on the way down fishing, and we floated from where I last left you back down here, and he said that this is pretty secluded, no one will even know I'm back here. I need to hike about 600 feet back there. This is owned by the parks or something like that, and he said that this is all original, never been cut trees, and there's some really old stuff back here. So it's 10 after 6, and even though it's still light out, it's not going to be that light back there. So I'm headed back there with my stuff. I'm going to set up camp. Well, it appears I have a shelter. It's kind of a Frank Lloyd Wright inspired design. Not sure where to put the bathroom and shower, but I think it'll work, even though it took like 2 hours to do. Here's my bed. I've been sleeping with the creepy crawlers. Here's inside. I've got a reinforced roof here with my paddle tied to a couple of sticks. Very cool. I think it looks rather cozy myself. Well, you can't see it from very close, but it's very cozy. Now I gotta work on the fire, and it's 10 to 8. So, once again, before it caves in on me, is a long shot of it. I think I'll go to sleep. And we have fire. After an hour of gathering wood, they say get as much wood as you need, and then get 5 times that. I think I got close to that. I hope I don't run out. Let's go fire it up. So stay tuned for cooking midnight right here on this channel. Well, all is good. I haven't eaten yet. It's 9:30, but that's my fire. I'm getting some nice coals going. I put the kayak up there for a backstop so it'll reflect the heat. I've got my bandana and my gloves drying on a stick. You can see the twilight behind there. That's cool from here. And here's my, well, you can't see anything in there, but that's my bed. And I need to pick up already. Let's see if I can do some camera light in here. But it's been a good day all around. There we go. I can expected today. It turned out to be really, really successful. And that's so far because I haven't burned the forest out. Most of it's sitting by me. So I'll let you know how dinner goes. Bye. It's late dining even if you're in San Francisco, but nonetheless, I've got on my chicken and my edamame steaming here and a couple of yams in the coals right down in there. This is going to be good for campfire food. Here's another shot of my impending dinner since there's nothing else to do around here but, ouch, show people stuff. So we got our chicken, looks pretty good. Our edamame just about done, and I'm sure our yams in there, ouch, are pretty done. So, good. And dinner is served. Wholesome goodness. Well, this is my nighty-night fire somewhere over there, and I'm all ready to go to bed, just like Bear Grylls. I got my place all fixed up here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's my roof. Might try to get a little brighter light. Hang on. There we go. Here's my little tent thingy. My bed. All my stuff. Fire. Very nice, just like on the TV show. So, with that, it's good night. Bye. Thought maybe you'd just like to watch the campfire. Kind of a nice sound. Olga, you will be happy to know that my bandana caught fire on the stick while it was drying. I thought it was a reflection off of something, and I noticed that it had like coals that were little coals, and pretty soon the whole thing went up in flames. So it's no longer my camouflage bandana that you like so much. Like a beaver. And so I guess I can pretend I'm roasting marshmallows all night. Woohoo! So quiet out here. I thought I heard some coyotes earlier. And the bugs aren't bad, so I mean, why would you sleep, you know? Okay, well, we're going to try something here called Helmet Cam. so long as I look down, we'll get to see what it looks like leaving my campsite and going downstream, which is going to be a lot more fun than it was upstream. Bumping a log here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Beautiful day. In fact, it's pretty hot. But this is going to be nice because there's a little bit of a breeze. About an hour and I should be all the way to Cass Lake. Oh, even less than that. You can see it's snowing cottonwood tree buzz. The guy that I was with yesterday, Fred, said he's the one that comes through here and most of the time cuts these things out. In fact, some of them have names on them. That was an M, but one of them said F. I suppose that means Fred. Oh, I like going fast like this. Okay. It's easier too, because you just follow the bubbles. Oh, this is a log. Okay. Oops. Very pretty. Hitting my paddle on things. Whoa, gotta go. Uh-oh. Ah, I'm really messing up. Must not have gotten any sleep. Anyway, must have inhaled too much campfire smoke last night. But you get the point here, and so when it gets some interesting scenery again, I'll turn helmet cam back on just as soon as I get around this bend. Well, we're going to give helmet forehead cam another shot here. Turns out I wasn't that far from the subway. Really only about 5 or 6 minutes, so I stopped and replenished my water and got a roast beef sandwich, which I'll have before I get back somewhere. So let's give this a shot. This is Elizabeth Road, is usually where I end up if I start at Cass Lake, Dodge Park. But this is kind of pretty right here at the beginning. Again, there's a nice breeze today, and it's It's gonna be fast going. Little cinematic action there, going through the leaves. What happens going downstream is that it's more of a control issue. It's easier to go because you know where to go, but you gotta be careful that you're not thrown into things. This river tends to take you to where the outside bends. You can see in the water too how clear it is. This is really a clear river. I just hope I don't run into somebody with this thing on my forehead. It's gonna look pretty silly. Ran into quite a few characters this weekend. Everybody's pretty friendly. Everybody's got a story. Talking about deadfalls and where they put in and how far they've gone upstream. And most of them have been pretty impressed when they see that backpack full of crap on my kayak here. Here comes a tight turn. See, it's nothing when you're going downstream. This is so much easier to maneuver. Whoa, I said right away. Than a canoe. Here's the water again. You can see fish in here from time to time. Some pretty good sized ones. The guy yesterday told me there's pike in here. Get toward Cass Lake, there's more bass. Maybe even a trout. Really doesn't mean a whole lot to me though. Let's get up a little speed here so we can get this movie going. This is the greatest. And this is going to spoil me when I have to do those portages, but fortunately I got a lot less weight today. Kind of more of the same like this, so I think I'll cut it off here. Get to Cass Lake, maybe give you a look at that. Since I'm running out of video time and you're probably running out of interest. So, signing off for now. Well, this is a pretty area going through here, so I thought I'd capture this. It's one of the few places that looks more like a river and has trees rather than cattails. Oh, and this is the place I have to go over the log, so you get to witness that firsthand here. I'm gonna line up carefully. Maybe a little more carefully than that. But nothing big. You can see that cell phone tower up there somewhere. That's kind of a good way to orient. What I find is that you paddle and paddle and paddle. For it seems like hours, you keep seeing that stupid thing. First on the right, then on the left. Really aren't very far from anything. Here's where it gets kind of reedy, reed-like, cattails and so forth. Shallows out. You can see some houses up there. Sometimes there'll be an egret along here, or heron. And they like to go up a little farther ahead and wait for you and then fly again. This is the shortcut I took yesterday. Instead of going around that bend, because it's so high, I'm gonna go over this log here, cut off some of the trip. Didn't work out so bad. Looking for fishies. Fish? Right here. Later on in the summer, those little green reeds start growing, become long tails, go to the surface, and then you gotta deal with that. You kind of snag on your paddle, and it generally gets shallower. There's a red-winged blackbird. Beep, 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 beep. So it's pretty much like this till you get to the lake. Well, here we are, starting to get into Cass Lake, and it's busy and windy, but I thought I would first show you what it's like to encounter a swan, because they're not nice. That should be the female. She won't do too much. But this guy, oops, got a boat coming. He's got some little, what do you call them, baby swans behind him. Or maybe that's a female too. They can get kind of threatening. But this is the the bay that opens up onto Cass Lake, and this gets pretty busy. So as a kayaker, you got to kind of keep moving, and we'll get a chance to see some waves. Well, I put in Orchard Lake over there somewhere, and I've got to go over there left of the island near where those apartments are. So after that, Pine Lake, Long Straight Lake, Upper Straight Lake, and then walk home. I may have lost my head cam strap, which is my xenon lamp. I don't know where stuff is anymore. I'm kind of tired, but this is Pine Lake, just portage from Orchard Lake, and I gotta go all the way to the other end of this and try to find a way to get down that canal, get out of the people's house that I met, walk about a quarter mile or less, then down the big hill to Upper Straits Lake, and then take that halfway to the canal, and then out, and then the big walk home. You can see light at the end of the tunnel, or water at the end of the lake. Well, there's not much to say. I think the look on my face tells it all. It got harder as it went, and I'm tuckered out. but I made it back to the house. And now I get to unpack all this crap. It's pretty fun. Met a lot of people and proved that I could do it. Got a couple of blisters too. That's it. The big trip.